at the popular styles, and we'll start with a couple of manual options. So with smaller children, often it's just to get them used to a product, transfer from A to B, maybe a sling is not in place. So we do have a couple of products. Julie, if you can come in. The first one is a little jacket. So this is our walk assist. It's a little waistcoat jacket that's designed to help steady somebody. So if you've got someone with a slight unsteady gait, and rather than grabbing them, clothing or things, then we've got this little waistcoat that's got handles on, some positioning handles to just steady them. If they're walking and they just need a little bit of help, not a lifting product, it's just there as a guide for someone that needs a little bit more steadying. It's made in a fine mesh, go over outer clothing because we've got a little zip here with an expander, so it can go over clothing, so that we can then tighten it if needed. We haven't got your outer clothing on. But lightweight mesh. Have a look on the website. It's called the Walk Assist. Walk Assist little jacket there. Very straightforward. In the navy blue there. Are there any questions on this, Alice?
No, no questions so far.
So the other manual product, Julie, if you leave that one in a minute, we've got a manual. We'll bring this one in. A manual transfer sling. So this is like a sling, but it's actually got positioning loops all around the handling. Julie, can take the top two. And I could take the legs. So depending on how you need to transfer, we've got positioning handles here. Just have 2 or 3 carers, 4 carers if needed, depending on the weight. But it is literally a little sling type product. It has a fit like that. It's just to remember, so they don't fall through the aperture there. We have done it without the filler. On occasion, we've been asked to provide this for administering emergency rectal medication. So we've done it without the aperture there. But I'll just take it off and then we can just see it off and then you can see what it looks like with nothing in. Yeah, this is what it is. It's a sling shape. See there. And it cuts through the legs like a sling, sits together, and then you've got your waist over there. So moving and handling guidelines will, of course, have to be followed because it's a manual product. So always refer to that, those guidelines if you are using it. It's been used for travel, getting on and off planes, things like that. Or if someone falls and there's no hoist available, be used to get someone up into a wheelchair or into an area where they can then apply a sling. So lots of uses, home use as well. So we call this the manual handling. So it's a manual handling skill. So if you need any more information, just have a look at that. So moving on, thank you, Judith, to the harnesses. Got a couple of harnesses. There are more, but these are the most popular. One of the most popular is the Rachel harness. So this little jacket here, it's put on like a jacket. Unclipped the wing section there. And it's got a little zipper. You actually put it on like a jacket, zip it up. We have changed the shoulder sections to have fronting. So if you've got someone that's got real contractured arms and you can't get the jacket on, then you can put it on like a tabard. So it's slot down and flipping the shoulders. So that's what we've made. But this little harness was actually developed for an able-bodied problem because mum didn't have the strength to lift them into the wheelchair, the buggy or the high chair. So dad would put this on, and the tapes are detachable. So you could unclip them. So she was able to then clip these on and then hoist him up to get him into his chair or high chair. So a useful little thing, never introduced it, and it's very versatile. It's a harness that you can put on. Often youngsters will have them on at home. The tapes will be left at school, so they'll come to school with them on. And they are there in many options, but to help support the upper trunk. So if you've got someone that is trying to, all their energies is there just trying to sit up, this will help. So with the tapes on, with the hoist behind them, it will help to support their job. Have all their energies not taken up with that, and then they can just carry out their activities. Also good for walking practices, gait training and things like that, because it's a harness. There's a padded section under the groin, and these are adjustable to keep it firm. Very good also to encourage natural patterns of movement. If you've got someone that's on the floor and they're having therapy on the floor, then the harness will help to reduce the hands-on handling. It takes away the need for that, the carers then to help and handle them. So it also reduces that. So it's a really good option when practicing kneeling, high kneeling, stepping, and things like that. The straps, as I said, are detachable. So you can take them off. They look like this. They're on a slider, so these sliders are adjustable depending on how high the spider bar is. There is a little bar at the top, plastic bar. That plastic bar is there so that you might extend this. I don't use that with the little plastic bar. Or if you've got the older version, it may be a metal D-ring, which we're trying to take away now, so it's less clunky. But the little bar is there for that reason. Then you just adjust the tape, push the bar out the way, and then clip it. So you've got front and back. I think how up so you can have a look at it. You've got front and back tapes, and there is also. Do you want to just hold just stop spinning? Yes. If we just look at it from, you can see here, the groin section comes through, zips here, and then from the back, turn around, you can see it's fully around the body, under the groin, and then clips them here. The additional straps you get with this, just turn it around, are the hip tapes here. There's two little hooks there. Just took those off to show you what they're doing. So they clip in at the hip. Often they are taken off and not used. Fair enough, we don't need them. But the reason they're there is to help get someone into a prone position. We just turn it to the side here. But by adjusting the tapes, you can then lift them into a prone with the slider in the right position there to help get them going over a wedge or onto a prone stand and things like that. It will help. We've got to get them into that position. But as I said, I think most people take them off and they don't use them, which is fine. Depends on your situation. So really versatile, good little harness, very popular. Let me see if there's any questions, Alice. How are we doing?
No questions so far, Mandy.
Oh yes, Judith's saying that she's Judith deals with schools a lot, and she's getting a lot of inquiries about transferring into a walking hall, which is a really good point to mention. And if you think, okay, this is a bit clunky, for someone then to be on the frame here, you can reverse the fixings. So you've got smoother front and the fixings on the back. So if you have that situation, just let us know and we'll work through that with you. So if you think that leaning on something, club clicks would be an issue, then think about the reverse option. So, okay, yeah. So that's the Rachel harness. Let's just push that out for a moment. And I will show you the Jolly Jumper. So the Jolly Jumper is it's a bit like a baby bouncer. You can imagine really children with the baby bouncers that are attached to toys. It's a great harness. It's got a really good back support, and there's no extra tapes here. So in many ways, it's better. Not got to, negotiate the front tapes. So here, it's supported by the back. The back section is got full length bones, so it's very supportive. So if you've got someone that's got a bit more movement, needs a bit more support to the head, this could be an option. Rachel harness, you need to have some head control, because you can picture that that if you've got someone that's got a lot of movement, and they can get tangled up a bit. So this one is probably a better option. Got very good straps that support the trunk. Jude, if you could just hold that side and we can do it. So these are sleeves that cover the shoulder tapes here. And there are lots of positions. So this actually will grow with the child quite well. Quite much of this is higher than difference. But you've got slots to shorten it if you need to. And they're adjustable. So you need to get a bit of the setting and then uncover it and untip it and put the sleeve on. So the sleeve is there for comfort. It's a comfort quilted sleeve. And it goes on to protect against that tip. So it really gives very good trunk support here. So it will hold the shoulders and the upper body really well. So it's a really good shape for that. I'm just going to turn around. It's a bit of a fiddle. This one is a fiddle to get on. The Rachel harness, because you can unclip it, you can get it on in a chair, change and take it form. So quite easy. This one you need to roll, got to be rolling to get them on because it fits at the back. So we need to introduce this, take the groin section through, roll them onto their side to then flip round the back. So it will give very good hip here. On the side, you can see here how it wraps through. So it feeds through a loop on the side to create a natural handle there to help with guiding. So a really good option, I would say it's probably used a lot for family inclusion. You want to get a youngster up, because we know how important it is to get somebody up for their well-being and all sorts of reasons. So, harnesses are widely used for therapists, as you guys will know. So they're the two most popular for children. We have others. If you look at the website, there are others on there. But for this session, I've just focused on those two. Let me just check, see if there's any questions, Alice, for the harnesses.
No questions so far, Mandy.
Let's just move this over here. I want to introduce some slings now. We can get this out of the way. That. So slings. I'm going to use Judith because I think we're with a proper model. But get a nice open situation, but hopefully you can visualise the situation we're going to explain. Slings, I'm sure you're aware of slings. They do vary, and all our slings can go down to triple extra small or an extra large. So, they're the same shape, they will do the same thing, but you just need to then check the sizing. Our most popular sling is a fast fit. Judy, you can. So this is a fast fit, standard shape, very well known style. can be used for children because it's simple, it's easy. It can come with head support. Need it. But I just want to quickly just explain a couple of things. So it applies really easily and Judy thinks is really helpful. But this then comes through. I won't waste it because I'm mindful of time. And I'm sure you're very aware of this stuff. But there are, because it's a well-known stuff, the leg sections come through and they can, as it pulls through, slightly externally rotate the hip. So if we're dealing with a youngster that's got very painful joints, infantile arthritis, any pain in the hip, that may add to the pain. So think about that because it's pulling through here, going up to the voice. It's very subtle, but I know for more challenging situations it's caused a problem. So think about that. Also, for very active and challenging situations, it can shoot up into the ball. You've got an extender. So I would say steer clear of the stomach. Just explain that. So what I would suggest is we look at this shape. So this is the universal Deluxe shape. I'm going to put it on you just to explain. So they've got leg paddles, and I'm sure if anyone's been on the sling shaped session, you'll be aware of this, but I will repeat it just for those that haven't. So these are leg paddles that wrap around the femur, a bit more fiddly to put on, but they give better, fuller femurs. So they wrap through and connect with the modesty there. And then you've got an outside tape. So the outside tape is picking the leg up from the outside, which is really important. So it will help with support and comfort if you have someone that's got painful joints. So short shoulder, long leg. I'm just going to put it up and show you. Right? Colour coding on the oops to help with positioning, guide whatever's required. It's a bit like a jigsaw. So this would be established with your risk assessment once you're doing your care plans as to which is the right and appropriate group option. But there's lots of options to help you. If you someone to be all the time, then you can do that. But in this situation, I just one short shoulder long leg, Judith. So it's going to pick Judith up in a really good position. Right. So good 90-degree position there, and you can see the leg paddles here. Push that on the way. So we can see depth of that paddle and push it towards the knee. June a bit wriggly. Individual control now because those leg paddles are individual and they will adjust naturally. So it's not going to shoot into the groin like the other one. And it's picking up from the outside, this outside tape. So it makes a massive difference. So pick the leg up from the outside and won't cause that rotation. Good if you've got a pummel on a chair, you've got an individual paddle, so that the legs are balanced better. There is on this one, I've put another loop here. And this can be added, it's an addition, and it is for a hip tape. I did briefly touch on the hip tapes earlier, but you get these tapes that clip on, and then you adjust accordingly. So what happens is you need to set it so it picks up simultaneously with the leg. This is too loose, I'd have to load you down to tighten it up. Just to explain. And it will help with lifting the hip. If you've got someone that slumps or is really got very poor tone and then falling forward, and you want to lift that area, then adding a hip tape will help. It will also distribute the weight. You've got someone that's got very painful joints, and it will help to take pressure from the knee. So it's a really good addition to have, and it will just lift, makes a massive difference, just subtly. So you need to get the setting, as I said, to pick up simultaneously. If it's too tight, it's going to force the hip forward first. So if I extend it that way, it will extend straight away. If it's too loose, it's doing nothing. So you need to get the setting right. Also good, because I know you guys, have to be really imaginative sometimes. So if you've got someone that's got a real curvature, very asymmetrical, really swept hips, think about adjusting the tapes asymmetrically. Nothing wrong with using shorter shoulder one side, as long as you've risk assessed, you've documented it, but just so that you can just do that, rather than someone hanging out the side and you've got another carer trying to keep them in, then, you can adjust the tapes. Do it, in a controlled way, but it will help. The hip tapes are good for that particular situation.
So this printed in policy, and obviously the mesh fabric is suitable to see the baby, but a lot of people like it to sleep on environment.
Okay, yeah, this is the poly. So we do have a mesh option. Mesh available in hydrotherapy. That's again on the website, all the fabric options are there. Often the most popular there will be the in situ hydrotherapy. If you're leaving a sling in, then that particular shape, we have this option too. And this is one of our in situ slings. In situ, big grey area sometimes because people think, okay, I've got an in situ sling, I'll put it on, leave it on, that's it. No, you've got to work out whether it's appropriate, whether it's suitable for that person, the carers. It's a big, joint decision and all about balanced care. So you've got to work out whether it's going to be appropriate to leave the sling in. We have options to help you. And certainly for paediatrics, this is our most popular. It's the Deluxe shape leg, and this one is in the superfine fabric. So superfine is a lightweight breathable mesh. It has got some elastication. It's really good for hugging curvatures, asymmetrical shapes. So it's a nice fabric. It is lightweight, can also be used for babies. It is a mesh. The superfine also has Coolmax in. So Coolmax is an inherent property that helps to wick away moisture. If you've got someone that has temperature control issues, then the superfine fabric may be helpful in that situation. But the single layer superfine only has a weight limit of 10 stone, 64 kilograms. Fine for paediatrics and young adults. If you go over the 10 stone, we will double layer it. So it can be provided and it can be double layered. And the reason we say 10 stone is because of the stretch. So if you put anyone that's got in heavier weight, it can just stretch and stretch before it leaks. So by double layering it, it stabilises it a bit. So you've got those two options to think about. Single layer, 10 stone. Double layer up to 220, 25 stone, the double layers. But there is the third option, which is the Superfine Plus, so it's the spacer fabric. And the spacer fabric is a black spacer. I've got another sling in that fabric that I'll show you. The spacer is a spongy, three-dimensional mesh, which is very popular, well known within the industry for slings that can be left in for extended periods. So you may know it well. This one is also a mesh, so you can use it for bathing. It's a bit thicker, so you need to be aware of your seating system. You've got a very tight mould, good postural supports, then will the spacer be too thick? You might need to think about the superfine. I know there's a lot of wheelchair centres and clinicians who allow for the extra thickness when they're doing their measuring. So just a case of just checking with them of what is suitable. The Superfine Plus has no weight limit. Well, it goes up to 35 stone, so 220 kilograms. You have to worry about that. But just so that you know, on the in situ options, there's 3 choices: single layer Superfine, double layer Superfine Plus. No, the format is only using. And also with the Superfine only, you will get a mesh bag for laundry to pop it in there. Because it's, it's a delicate fabric. It's been carefully chosen to help, support somebody as smoothly as possible. So the in situ slings are made in one piece. There's limited seams. There's no handles. So really make it as smooth as possible to avoid any potential bump. But yeah, so you get the bag just for the simple. Sorry, that's so much information, and I do apologise, but please, it's all on the website. You get a bit lost. Let me just see if there's any questions, Alice, and what I'm doing.
We've just had one question, Mandy. What would you say what would you say is equivalent sizing comparing a Superfine if changing to a Superfine Plus fabric?
Sizing is actually the same. So if you've established that you want a deluxe leg and a medium, then the sizing's the same. Don't worry about sizing. It's just the weight that you need to work out for someone that's, if they're 9.5 stone or something, you may want to think about the double layer deluxe leg. The sizing guides on the website too, so to have a look at. But you should be able to get a medium Superfine and a medium deluxe, and they should be the same. And Superfine Plus. Was there any other questions, Alice?
No other questions so far.
This in situ, you can have them without a head support if that's something that is not needed. And also we can add a chest or waist support. Often youngsters, they may have some movement, and particularly for carers to position things accurately, they'll have a little waist support. We've got a little soft one here. It's made of soft fabric with a slip fit fabric. That you get on the leg sections. So the slings will come with slip fit both sides to help you insert it. This will be fitted into a little channel, and it can be positioned at the waist. That's the waist or chest. And you need to just tell us where you would want it. Generally, it's waist. So for carers, they know the sling's on in the right place with this ball. We need little waist support bits there. And it's got a little thumb buckle. Honestly, don't put Velcro or the hooking loop on, because that will snag fabric. So just like using one slip and a thumb click. So that's if you need to add that. Right, so we've done the in situ. Let's think about another really popular sling for children, and that's if you've got someone that's quite active. And you've got situation where you've got someone that is active, extends how we transfer. So this is our easy access sling. It's part of our Continental sling range, and the Continental slings are made in this structured polyester in this colour. The polyester it's very robust. It's got a natural sheen on it, so it really will be easier to insert if you've got a tighter chair. This type of sheen. Do you find it's easy to apply it in a chair because we're not getting it too far down. It's only going to the belt line. You just got a trunk section and the legs. The legs have got foam in. The whole sling has got this firm foam within. So it's really good for support. And because of the sheen of the fabric, it slides through really easily. So we've got the legs applied in that way, and they get crossed. And then we've got this trunk So this is going to wrap over and wrap around you. We're looking at a situation where you've got someone that's got weak core tone, so they need that extra support, which the sling will give, and transfer from A to B. Then we've also got this counterbalance strap. So this will then allow someone that's got some movement, and it will move. You will allow the movement, but just keep them contained. So it looks a bit complicated, but actually just doing it slowly and building it up. I hope it makes sense. If I just apply it, there's lots of adjustment on these straps. Well, just down to one. Thoracic section's got loops. And if it's too tight, then we loosen it off. And then the counterbalance needs to go on. If you've only got 2 hooks, one hook either side, put it on last. So that it's on top of the others, and it will allow that movement. It will flow on top. If you've got the 3 hooks, 2 hooks, then you can put it on individually. But on this one, yeah. So we'll just take up the slack, make sure you've got it. It's going to wrap around you, Jim. Okay. So it's going to fit firm. The whole purpose is to have a sling that will fit firmly for someone that has got poor tone. So you start through it.
Yeah.
Try hard. Bring your knees up to the chest. And you extend. And as she's doing that, you can see that the counterbalance is flowing through. So it's allowing it out. Thank you. That's very good. Very active. So you can see what it can do. So for the most extreme situations, then we know this is a good option. So it's very challenging situation. You can see the back, pull back the neck support there. But there's still a lot of access. So if you do need to do a hygiene task, then the beauty of that is you've still got good access there. The drawbacks are that it will fit firm. It's very firm. So if you've got someone that doesn't like that feeling, then it may not be appropriate. And if you've got someone quite shapely, it might bite something in. So you just need to be mindful of that. But you've got freedom here. So if you've got someone with a peg, then that area is free. Certainly for avoiding the peg there. It will push the bust up. So if you've got a young lady that's got a bust, then also be mindful of that. But as I said, it's very popular as an extreme situation for fertility as well, because you can see the access it gives. Just talking about hoists. Judith, we know for Judith, because she's quite slight, that this is a good width spreader bar for her. But hoists are really important. And often, you've got one size that has to suit, but if you've got a tiny person with a wide spreader bar, then all it takes to go out to that spreader bar, they're going to be really swimming within that sling. So it is worth double checking if you've got a complex situation as to whether the spreader bar is right. And often, if you've got poor tone and they are something, you might need to have 4-point spreader bar. Take the tapes out, open it up, spread, sling, and that will help in some challenging situations as well. When we deal with brittle bone and things like that, we need to make sure we've got a spreader bar wider than their body, because otherwise, if you put something on that's going to just contract them, it'll add to the issue. There's this problem, so just double check. This spreader bar is one of Silvalea's, and it's got a really clever shore clip here. So instead of you've got to physically lift it to put the thing on, so quite good. But if you are interested in voice, we've got a section on the website which you'll be having Check there. Let me just check then, Alice, have you got any questions on the easy access?
No questions so far, Mandy.
Right, we're doing well, and I think I've only got there's a couple left to show you. Get that on. And the next style I'm going to show you is one of our most interesting things, and it looks very complicated. It's called our Tinkham. So the Tinkham Sling was developed by a youngster who escaped out of everything. It was very challenging. Did escape because it was funny. So we were asked to make a sling that would help to keep him safe. So we came up with this. So you actually wear the sling, and it's got features on it that help to keep the head forward, contract the shoulders, and rock the legs into position. So all that will then help prevent that as it brings them back. So lots of features on there. There's a soft neck roll to lessen in the neck. There's little pockets so that they come up the round side. Probably better applied on the bed, and there's a good video online showing you and explain that. I can't do that here, so I'm going to put it on the best I can in a chair. You can apply it on the chair. It's a divided leg. So we have got, first thing, you need to get it down and get the little waist support wrapping around the trunk, get that into position so we know we've got it in the right place. So it's literally waist. So that's wrapping the slings round, swing around that person comfortably on the side of them. The leg sections are fine as they would in the normal style. They've got slip fit on to help with that application there. And we've got a modesty strap across the width of the leg and a modesty strap at the top. So we've done everything to keep those legs together. So you've got both options there. So you've got the legs on. There are 2 sets of hip tapes. So that effectively then are going to help lock legs in the hips in a certain position. So there's 2 sets. Then working up, we've got a shoulder section. It's going to come around the shoulders and a head support. There's a lot going on. I can see that it's probably going to be too much for you, but let's just build it from the bottom. So let's go with the green leg. I'll do that. 2 sets of hip tapes, and they're on the sliders as we've talked about before, so that you can then adjust them. You can adjust them to the right position so that they are beneficial and giving the right support. And the shoulder tape, just going to put the shoulder on. We won't add the head support at the moment. We'll just take it up slowly. Going to wrap around Judy. Just slowly. Just sit down on. Okay. Right. Okay. So we've gone. A bit taped there. Just check this and tighten up. Just. I haven't done the head support yet, so we'll just talk about this. We can see the leg support there. 2 hip tapes here. You might find that the lower hip tape needs to be slightly shorter so that you can keep those legs really flexed. Then from the top, it's coming around to the shoulders here. And then the head support, which we'll keep on, got a little And I've got it on the shorter setting so that it's going to keep Julie's head moving forward. But Julie, just slowly push back. When you twist into this pocket here, just corkscrew round. So you can see the situation, you can bring your legs up. It's for that real extension and that real active person, but it's containing that. So it's really helping. The features on there, as I said, she's wearing the sling effectively. So she's wearing it around here, got the shoulders here. And interestingly, the neck roll, when you put it on to begin with, you've got the waist here. The neck roll starts on the shoulders, but as they sink into the sling, it will then reposition itself around the neck. So you don't always with slings, get the lower half sorted first. The top section will sort itself out as you sink within the slings, and of course takes up the sling. So it is for extreme situations, and although we do standard ones, often these are better estimated. We had a scenario in New Zealand years ago where they had to get someone into a specific position so that they didn't thrust back and block off their airway. They'd exhausted every company's type of sling. So we linked up like this and went through this, and it worked perfectly. So, you know, for really complex situations, it is an option. Other thing on here, which might have noticed, are that we've got different tapes. And these are slot tapes, which are slightly different. They work better on this sling. There are a few things that come as standard with slot tape, but it's a safety slot tape, which is cleverly designed, same colour coding as a normal tape, and works in the same way. But we haven't got all the loops dangling and getting caught up. I'm going to just show you close up. They are very clever. They're made all in one piece. I don't need to see this, but again, there's a lot of information on the website there. Colour coded in the same way, very streamlined. They, you know, they can be neatly folded. They're not, going to get caught in wheels, hoists, because they're streamlined, just well done. They attach to the sling on a little twisty loop here. This is then it will find its optimum position that loop. So it will help to prevent wrong direction of pulling on the table. So that's on the Tinkham Sling, safe slot is. Let's check. Any questions? How are we doing?
No questions so far, Mandy.
Right, hope you're still with me. There's one last style. This is our little travel sling, or sling in a bag. So this is quite a nifty little thing that you can use it for days out, travel, and it works all in one. So it's in there, and it is unfolded out of the top section of the sling against the head support. It looks like that. We did a lot to play over. It's in super fine and lightweight mesh that we talked about earlier. Just a bit support over there. It has two functions. You can use it as a sling because you've got tapes. And these tapes can be folded up and put in a little pocket if you are using it as a manual sling. Just go in a little pocket there. Okay. And as a manual sling, you've got lots of handles positioned and it just draws up. So apply it in the usual way, and then you've got these, and it just draws up to person. But quite nifty. Again, really good videos online if you want to have a look at that. It's the travel light. It's a big travel light. They're good for travel, days out, things like that. And then when you finish with it, just then the pillowcase, pull it through, and it all feeds back into the support section like that. Sling in the bag. So that's it. So that's our most popular. Do you have some posters actually? Alice, are you able to bring up the main thing selector, which I think is downloadable on the website? But this poster details all what, no, not that one, yeah, that's it. This details all the products on the website, so you know you can find extra information. Line 9 or section 9 are the most of the paediatrics that we've looked at today. And if you're doing it, if you need to select a range, this is a good poster for you. And then pick from this, the picking list. So that you can then see which styles will be suitable. Harnesses are there on line 6. But we also have created a full paediatric poster. We'll just zoom in a bit. This is a little bit more complicated, but the top row gives you topics. So if you want a sling for bathing, hygiene, harnesses. So along the top bar there, the shaded top bar, are the actual subjects of suitability. And then you just scroll down to where the tick boxes are, and it will lead you to an option. So quite detailed there, but it's everything you do. All of them are on the website, so you have to request more information. But if you would like that, please, we'll let you have it. If you can just fill in a quick questionnaire, then we'll send you back the sling matrix there, all our products. Let's check then, see if there's any final questions or anything that somebody wants me to go over again. So I've got a few minutes left. How are we doing, Alice?
I don't think any questions yet, but if anybody has anything they'd want to ask Amanda, just unmute yourselves and ask, or put in the group chat.
It's been helpful. I know there's a lot to talk about. Every sling has got a story. If you need help, please ask. We do individual assessments so that we can be there with you via this media. So it's very helpful that we can then help with individual situations. If you need something more tailor-made, we've got something more challenging, we can create something for you as well. So we are here to help. We do have a few dealers throughout the country that will help you. You just need to let us know where you are. And it depends on the complex situation as to how we advise you. But there's a good team here to acknowledge. So please just get in touch. That's all. Thank you very much, everybody, for your time. Judith for helping, and Alice for going. And hopefully there are other sessions booked. Just look at the prospectus. They're all online. And with a bit of luck, we'll see you again. But thank you.
Just to quickly add, before everybody heads off, with the posters, we just ask that everybody, so I'll send an email out and it's got a little feedback form on it, or any comments, even if you just want to pop it in an email, you can do. So any bit of feedback, we'd really appreciate. If there's something you want to see these sessions, like, we can tailor them to the majority of what everybody would like. So I'll send out the form or the link. Once we've received your comments, we'll then be able to send you the form. That's all we ask for, just some feedback. So yeah, thank you, Amanda, and thank you, Judith.
Thank you. Yes, Alice did touch on that. If you have a group that you need a bespoke session for, then please just get in touch. We can tailor it to whatever's needed, and use the posters. pick from that if you need to cover specific products that we haven't looked at today. So we can do your own bespoke session if you need to. But thank you, and see you again soon.